And all I'm doing, just letting it get to the bottom. And then once it's at the bottom, just kind of bobbing it a little bit. And all I mean by that is just popping that rod tip just slightly, just enough to give it a little action without really moving it from that area. And then sometimes I'll just drag my rod tip like that and stop, not too far, and then back to a little bob action. I'll let it sit. Like I said, still trying to figure out today what they want. And I'll also just raise my rod tip like this and drag it with me. Nice and easy. No crazy movements, man. But sometimes I do that too. So sometimes I'll pop it, see if they'll bite. The key is once you get bit, just try to mirror what you did. Area, how far off the bank you were casting when you got bit, or the area you think they bit as you're reeling it in. So stuff like that, just try to keep an eye on or pay attention to, so you kind of get a pattern. And catch multiple fish. Sometimes it's just that one fish. Sometimes you get skunked. That's fishing. So over here, there's some curbing in the water, kind of like in that area. If you can see where my lure hit. So I'll definitely, between my legs. Thanks, buddy. So before I walk over there, I'll definitely hit it just in case, man. You never know. Definitely breezy. The wind is off and on. Man, look at that fountain, dude. Look at the wind. Jeez. Sweet. Love it. That's crazy. Blowing water all the way over there. Here it comes. Oof. Ah, that's cold. Now we're getting sprayed. Okay. Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't go to the canal today. I was almost going to go to the canal, and it is pretty windy. Goodness, man. I don't know if you can see in the camera, you got that kind of sandbar out here. That's definitely a nice spot to try. Kind of where we didn't catch right on the edge, but just a little bit out of it. We'll see. We'll work our way in real quick. We'll make one more cast toward that sandbar. Nothing. Doesn't mean there's not fish there. It's a little closer to the edge of that now. And we're just going to slide a little bit so we actually fish the edge. And then we may go deeper just to check. But not a cloud in the sky today. It's super clear. Clear blue skies. Alright, we're going to try just a touch deeper here. So I said, this spot here can be good. Just got to figure out what these bass are doing, what they want. So I'm going to remember that, and then maybe on the way out we'll cast in there again. Some rocks right there. There we go. We've worked it right over that rock. Oh, I'm all tangled up with Yoda. Oh, that's a nice fish. Well, they're all nice. I say that every time. Definitely took a bit. I felt that rock, and then just worked it over, let it bob there, and he nailed it. He hit it hard. You always want to keep pressure on that line when you're reaching in. There we go. Yeah. Nice little fish. Thanks, bud. All right. Let this guy go. There you go, buddy. You're all fun. Thank you, Lord, for that. So like I said, I felt that structure, a little bit of rocks or something. He must have been sitting in there. And then that little bob action was just enough to get him to nail it. So we'll try again in there. I'm not too sure they're schooled up at all, man, but it's not going to hurt to see if there's another one. So there's some rocks again. I'm a little closer in. I'm almost near that shade, and he might have been hanging over there. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, we'll see if there's any more.